Hey guys, Daryl Shergan, Quest for Vape, doing a review today on the SPD A8 box mod from EHPHRO, as well as the BillowV2 NANO RTA tank. I was sent both of these by a company called Heaven Gifts in China. They're an online catalog-based discount online retailer of vaping gear from China, and you can get a lot of good deals on there. You're ordering directly from China. It's worth buying. This is a great RTA. So I love dripping. I prefer dripping in an RTA, but when I got to drive, or if I'm around, like, more polite, not vaping company, and they don't want to see me billowing huge clouds, I want to stealth vape. This is a nice vape. This is well worth it. Okay, so I'm going to do close-ups in a minute, down camera angle and close-ups for you to see the RTA broken down, what it comes with, how I did the build, how I did the wicking, the instruction manuals for both of these devices, how to go through the menu settings on this box. I'm just going to give you my thoughts right now, my impressions right now. This is a good, reliable temperature control box mod at a reasonable price, and it's got a nice, comfy feel to it. It's very light, actually, for 4,000 milliamp hour internal battery. It's very light. I think the tank weighs more than the mod. So you got nice, long battery life. You got a comfy mod. It's durable, rugged, hard plastic. It's not scratchy. It's not cheap. There's nothing rattling. This is a good, solid grab-and-go device. This is going in my pocket for walking around. I'm getting a great vape on this RTA. I'm getting a great regulated temperature control power on this mod. I like when you're not in temperature control mode, it says not TC. It tells you when you're not in temperature control, and I like that. It's also got a setting for titanium, which I prefer over nickel. I'm not getting into the nickel debate here in this video, but isn't it nice to know you got a titanium setting? And I haven't tried stainless steel, but usually if it can read for titanium, it can read for stainless steel. Okay, in my close-up, coming up in a minute, I'm going to show you how this thing backs down power and then temps out as it approaches the maximum setting that you set. I'm going to show you how it does that, powering through up to maximum temperature, and how the thing shuts off. Overall, very pleased with this. An affordable temperature control device that's upgradable. This is not only your power cable, your charging cable, but this is also firmware update. And there's a setting in here when you want to do a firmware update. So this will be upgradable to 120 watts at some point, possibly even now. I don't know. But as far as, is it a good vape? Yes. Is it a reliable device? I only had it for 2 days. I can't tell you the answer to that. But so far, so good. I have high hopes for this, and I really like it a lot. Now I'm going to come back and share some other thoughts with you. Close-up video of the BillowV2 Nano from EHPHRO and eCiggity. That's the box, obviously. Their logos. QR code for authenticity, some warnings, whatever all this shit means. Certifications, whatever, I don't know. Okay. Very nice instruction manual. I'm going to show you that in a minute. This comes with a bunch of spare O-rings. Nice. A couple extra screws. Famous blue screwdriver. See that extra screw right there? Yeah, there's 2 of those. There's the other one. Right there. O-rings, okay. It also comes with some organic Japanese cotton, which we all have plenty of, but comes with some coils. So when the manufacturer sends you coils with an RTA, take careful note of the size diameter they use and how they build their coils, because these most likely work very well in the tank. So notice that they are spaced coils, 2, 4, 6 wrap, 5.5 wrap, 6 wrap. And I say 5.5, it's 6 on this side and 5 on this side. So you got, those are about 2, maybe 2.5 millimeter diameter coils. Anyway, take note, that's what the manufacturer recommends. So there's your spare parts, your cotton. This is the tank itself. Obviously it doesn't come with juice. I've been vaping on this, but this is a smart looking tank, well made. I'm pleased with it so far. I've been vaping on it for several days now. I really do like this tank. I think they did an excellent job. There's your copper 510 connection. It does stick out slightly. Do not use this on hybrid mods. I'm not even a fan of using tanks on mech mods in general. Regulated devices for me. Okay, so we've got nice airflow up from the bottom. Get a close up of that. Nice big Cyclops air holes. It does not rotate 360 degrees. It's about a 90-degree turn in there. So when you want to find your airflow, you don't have to go hunting around for it. Okay, there's the tank. It's got a 5 milliliter capacity, very nice. It's got a little bit of a, not a complete cylinder, it's got a bit of an outward bow to it, which I like. 510 size drip tip. Fits in there nicely, Delrin. Okay. So far it's been a nice vape. To fill this, you unscrew it from upside down. This is your tank. This is how you fill it through one of these 4 airflow, juice flow slots. I found the machining on this to be perfect. Look how sharp those edges are. No burrs, no metal turnings. Everything is just sharp, crisp, smooth. Look at that. These threads, perfectly cut, all smooth, no burrs. Okay, sorry it's opened, it's messy, I've been vaping on it. This is how I know whether I'm going to review a tank or not, if it's good enough to buy. And this is the top portion of the chimney. This does not remove the way you'd normally expect. So this is how the build deck seals this O-ring right here. And there's the dual coil that I built. That is actually titanium. I did a 6-wrap titanium dual coil build in here. You will forgive the little bit of juice. And there's my build. Vaping for 2 days on this. Barely any discoloration on the coils. That's how you wick it down into those juice slots a la Goblin Mini style. I like this build deck. There was a little bit more room. Do you see the airflow holes? The airflow comes up from the bottom, like as in the Freak Show RDA, and there's the bottom airflow right below the coils. That's how you center your coils. It's very easy to build on. Make sure your coils fit and aren't touching this top cap. By the way, I like this design because I can see what's going on. I can look straight down. I can even play around and manipulate with my wicks from the top here. I can get in there and get access to those coils if I want to. space them and gap them a little bit better, get a tool in there. Decently wide juice wicking channels, and you can see a little bit of the ends of my wicks down in there. Ooh. Okay, this is how you fill it. This is how you close it back up. It's a very nice fit, very nice seal. So that was a little different, seeing that O-ring on the top of the top cap cylinder. There is the BillowV2 Nano. I like it a lot. This is a contender. And look at that sexy black anodized steel. Stainless steel. Let's go back up top and vape on it and take a look and talk about this. Before I do that, though, I would like to show you. The user manual is very good on this. It will show you a breakdown of all the parts. Okay, they really improved on some things that were an issue for me on other tanks. They have bottom airflow, and yet there's a little bit of a kind of a lip up so that the juice doesn't pool and drip right down there, which was nice. Okay, so here's all the different parts. Here's a close-up diagram of the airflow holes as well as the juice channels, and it also shows you a set of coils installed already right above the airflow. This is interesting. It's showing you how to properly wick the RTA, where to put the cotton in those grooves. And if you needed to know how to screw this thing back together, the directions and instructions are there as well. So, but this was, in an instruction manual for an RTA, I thought that was very cool for them to show this is how the coils should be, and this is how you should wick it, and there's little diagrams. So you don't need to watch a video of me doing it, you can just follow that along. Separate the deck from the base. Okay, so you can, by the way, open up the bottom to clean it. You have to screw off that 510 connection, and then that unlocks. You won't be able to unscrew the base. You have to remove that 510 pin to remove this base from the rest of the tank, and then take off this airflow ring, and that's how you get in there. Okay, let's go back up top. Close-up video for the SPD A8 temperature control box mod from EHPHRO. Passion only for burning. Alright, these are the specs. These are the different colors it comes in. The specs on this device are wattage range from 10 watts to 80 watts, battery capacity 4,000 milliamp hours, coil resistance range 0.1 ohms to 3 ohms, short circuit protection, overcurrent protection, overcharging protection, temperature protection, supports a micro USB charging. Internal battery, you charge it just by plugging in the cable, like the iSticks. Supports software updating online. Nice. Supports wattage upgrading to 120 watts. I don't believe this does 120 watts at the moment, but it'll support a firmware update. I don't know if that's now or in the future. 3 working modes: temperature control, voltage control, and power control. It does have temperature control for nickel and titanium. And your usual warnings. Read the user manual carefully. Hey, listen, guys, please do that. And I'm going to start saying that from now on. I'm not going to be so flippant casual the way I just discard, like, here's the box. We don't need to look too much at the box, but we do need to read our user manuals. This is a very detailed user manual. You should know before you start doing temperature control how this device works, how to put it in temperature control, how to set the metal you want to vape on, and what you're going to be looking at along the way while you vape. And it goes through these screens. It shows you how to do each of those. So this is the power mode and wattage. This is the power mode and voltage. And then this is the temperature control screen. Temperature control allows you to set for a maximum temperature. And it also has a ramp up wattage, but it's going to try and use that output wattage. But it's going to back off power as it reaches the maximum set temperature. So wattage for this is kind of like setting your joules, how fast you want this to ramp up, how much power you want going into that. All right. Temperature control mode, power control mode, voltage control mode. So read this manual. It doesn't take long to read this. It took about 5 minutes. You got Fahrenheit and Celsius, left-hand mode, right-hand mode if you want to switch the screen display. You also have a stealth mode if you want to cut down on how much battery drain from just the display. Software updating. Okay. Here's the different faults or errors or things that it will say when it doesn't want to fire. It's going to give you low voltage, check atomizer. Okay, new coil plus, same coil minus. That's very important. I have to mention this when you're first screwing on a tank or an addy to a device for the very first time, and it's going to ask you, is this a new tank? Is this a new atomizer? I haven't read this yet. And you want to say plus yes, because then it's going to read the resistance right now at room temperature, the device at room temperature, the chip internally at room temperature, the tank at room temperature. What is this reading at? Why? Because it's going to use that as a baseline for when the resistance changes and increases on this coil. The box knows it's reading an increase in resistance means an increase in temperature, and that coefficient is how it knows how hot this thing's getting. That's how it knows when it's reaching your maximum temperature setting. So the only time you would press the minus button to confirm the same atomizer is, let's say you're using this, you're vaping on it, the mod is hot, the tank is hot, or the RDA, and you take this off to refill it with juice, and then you put it back on, and they're not room temperature. You don't want this thing taking a new baseline reading of the resistance. So you want to. It's going to ask you that same question. It's going to say, oh, there's a new atomizer. Is it the same coil? Press plus if it's the same, if it's a new one. Right? Press plus button, confirm a new atomizer connection. So in this case, you would press the minus button to confirm, no, it's not a new one. It's the same old one. It's the same reading you just had. Keep and don't get rid of my baseline resistance. I want to keep the settings the same. Okay. Enough said on that. Please, please, please read this manual. Know what you're doing. If you're not comfortable and you don't know enough about temperature control, learn more. There's tons of videos out there online. Speak to knowledgeable people. You know, don't just ask your buddy and your buddy goes, oh yeah, you know, like if it's the blind leading the blind, then you could get into some trouble. Okay, charging. This is a all right. So there's a USB port. This is the LED light turns on if there's less than 900 milliamp hours left on the battery. Okay. You know, it'll stop you from vaping that battery down too low. And here's different things you might see if it fails, why. There's a little like troubleshooting grid there. Okay. User manual. Please read that. This comes with the micro USB charging port. Here's where this fits right in the back here. That's how you charge the device. That's how you firmware upgrade the device. These are vent holes in the bottom down here. Okay, let's talk about the device. You don't open this up. If you open this up, you void the warranty, and the manufacturer's not responsible for anything you do inside there fiddling around, but there's the screws to open it up. I wouldn't recommend doing that. I'm not going to open it up. I'm not really curious to know what's inside here. So, you got to be fast on this button. See that? Isn't that nice? I want to show you that again. Goodbye. That's kind of cute. You could turn this display left hand or right hand, but all right, so I'm in temperature control mode. You see this over here? Titanium. I'm ramping up at 50 watts, and here's my temperature control, my maximum setting for temperature. Now you notice it's not reading any resistance. Okay. New coil plus, same coil minus. I'm going to say plus. You know why? They're both cold. I don't mind if it reads a new baseline temperature right now, new baseline resistance. Keep in mind, this thing doesn't really have like a thermometer in the coil. It's reading the resistance and it's saying, okay, that's what it is, and it's assuming like whatever room temperature is. So new coil. Now it's reading 0.12 as this is the resistance of this whole setup. So as that resistance increases, it knows the temperature is increasing here, and as it reaches what it calculates to be 350 degrees, it's going to back down power. See it backing down power? Normally, I don't like to power tanks and such without vaping on them, but I am showing you in a realistic setting. Okay. Temperature protect. It hit it. So it even shows me the wattage at what current wattage I'm at. So it's not at 50, it's going to dump power. Now it keeps tamping out on me because 200 and some odd degrees is not very high. It hits that very quickly. Now you see it backing down. That's what you want temperature control to do. That means it's working. It will back down power as it approaches this. You set what you want as the maximum limit. Now, if I try and vape this thing in titanium, I'm going to be hitting that in about a second or two, maybe 3 seconds. It's not going to be long enough for me to really get a good vape, but I'm going to show you up above when we're face to face vaping on this thing. But anyway. So here's how you adjust the modes. Plus and minus gets you into work mode setting. Temperature nickel. See, now it's nickel mode. Temperature nickel. Temperature titanium mode. Power control mode. See how it says no TC? PM, power mode, no TC. This is telling me you're not in temperature control. I like that. I like that. Thank you very much, EHPHRO. Work mode setting, yes. Nickel. Now I'm in titanium mode. Good. Hands mode setting, if I want to make it right hand mode. Let's do that again. Hands mode setting. Left mode. You see how it flipped the screen? Fahrenheit, Celsius. Okay, I'm gonna fucking turn it right. I can't read upside down, sorry. So once it's in the menu, I can scroll through the different. Okay, the plus button scrolls me through the menu options. Software updating, interesting. Software version. Work mode setting. Temperature system. Fahrenheit. This is where I would change it if I wanted. Oh, hands mode setting. Good, yeah. I don't like that. Display mode setting. Normal mode. Stealth mode. I don't like this hands mode. I got it. Damn it, I gotta put it back into the right mode. Thank God. Okay, I like it like that. Okay, I'm gonna go up top. Now I've showed you enough of how you go through. Now I don't want it in nickel, so work mode setting, temperature, nickel mode, titanium mode, TI, and I click that. So now my resistance is locked in. I'm going to set this at 420. With titanium, you can go up a little bit higher. It's a more stable metal. Nickel is typically lower. And, oh, by the way, see that 50 watts? You can adjust that all the way up to 100 watts. Doesn't mean it's going to produce that much power at any given time. It's just that's how fast the ramp up is. And the default setting on this is 50 watts. All right, back up to FaceTime. Actually, I can just edit together. So this is a nice combo. If you bought this, you would be able to vape very nicely in wattage mode and in temperature control mode. Whether you want to vape on nickel, I really feel like this will keep you in a safe working range of what nickel is supposed to be vaped at. If you want to vape in titanium, you got it. That battery is 4,000 milliamp hours. It also has some nice ramp up power. You can adjust that ramp up wattage, just like joules, of how fast you want your coils to ramp up. Now I'm going to put this in work mode setting. Bear with me 1 second. Okay, so now I put it in wattage mode. And now I'm going to vape the Smoke TF-V4 with the tri-coil, that big burly triple coil in there that just loves 80 watts. New coil, same. No, it's a new coil. So now it's still even, okay, no TC, no TC. You see that right there? It says no TC. I like that because I'm not in temperature control mode right now. I should know when I'm not. So I like that extra step that EHPHRO has gone to let you know if you're not in temperature. This way, if, say I had nickel or titanium or stainless steel and I wanted to be in temperature control, I would be clearly able to see no TC. Okay. This review is on the BillowV2 Nano and the SPD 8, but I wouldn't be fair to you if I didn't show you this thing vaping on some other products that are popular in the market, so you don't feel like, oh, this goes with this and only this. I really love this RTA. I do. Quality, son. Quality. Thank you very much. It's a nice vape. 80 watts. Feeling great on this tank. Now, if you take some of your smaller wattage boxes that use 18650 battery, not to knock the IPV-D2, not to knock the Sigali 75, those use 18650 battery, you're kind of like got this like seesaw. The higher you want to go on wattage, the higher amp battery you better have in that device. The less milliamp hours you have, the less battery life. So a 4,000 milliamp hour battery is very attractive to me to use in temperature control at this small, convenient, lightweight size. Now that's without going to bigger sized, more powerful, 2 battery, heavier. Okay, that's got its place. That's that class of vaping. This is the stealth mode class of vaping. But wanted to show you the TF-V4 at 80 watts. The vape's nice, and I feel, I haven't done it, but I feel like that battery could hold up for 80 watts all day long very nicely. This tank filled with juice weighs more than the actual mod. When I first opened this up, I was like, oh wow, it's really light. I wonder how it's going to weigh when I put batteries in. And then I realized this is internal and it's very light, but not janky at the same time. So I kind of like that. Goblin Mini on there looks super cool. This Goblin Mini right now is built for, now I'll tell you the difference. I love my Goblin Mini. I have like almost 10,000 views on the one video I did on this thing, but that airflow control also allows a little bit of leaking in it. It always leaks out the bottom. This thing has bottom airflow, and it doesn't leak out the bottom because there's a little bit of a lip. There's a little bit of a Kennedy-esque like lip on the, you'll see in the close-up, but I love the way the airflow comes in through the side and then goes up underneath each coil and has this little like lip to keep juice from just always constantly dripping down there. Yes, if I had my choice of getting a Goblin Mini or getting the BillowV2, hands down BillowV2 beats it every day of the week, just for design quality, the way the pieces fit together. It's a little bit bigger though, so if you absolutely must have stealthy stealth, here you got stealthy stealth. So let's take a look at how does this guy look on the I keep it at SPD A8. New coil. Yes, it's a new coil. Now I gotta change the mode. Temperature system. Work mode setting. Nickel mode. Titanium mode. All right, I just changed. Now it's locked in on a new resistance at 0.9. This is titanium dual coil on my Goblin Mini. That's powered a bit much. This is not as rugged and durable as of a build. Just because I didn't build as okay. Anyway, I'm showing you. Look how nicely that looks on there. I kind of like the BillowV2 better on there, just because it's black stainless. But that's not bad either. That's light. That's like, you got a lot of power in the palm of your hand right here. A lot of all-day vaping power. So that's my first impressions of this. I've only used it for 2 days. Excuse me, I'm verklempt over here. But so far, so good. So far, so good. Thank you very much, Heaven's Gifts, heavengifts.com, for sending this to me. This is the first EHPHRO. I'll see. Now, I put a new tank, I did new coil down, and it's reading it like it's the same old resistance, which isn't the case. So I got to take that off again. Put it back on. Now I'm going to read a new. You should not do it this way, I'll tell you why. Now it just read, okay, it's at 0.12, but like typically if the tank has been heated up and it's above room temperature, then that resistance is not going to read correctly. Its baseline is not going to be correct. All right, this is a painfully long video to say what. I like the design of this. It's new to the market. You're going to see these hitting the stores. You're going to see these offered online. When you see this SPD A8, you're going to look online and find my video, because it's probably one of the first ones out there on it. Not the first, but one of the first. And I'm saying it's worth buying. I don't know what it costs, but I would put this up against the... I would put this at the... If you get this whole setup, and I think you can, for somewhere under 90 bucks, I think you got a home run right here in temperature control and a nice, reliable, versatile RTA. Thank you very much, guys. Quest for Vape.